If you're just tuning in, this is Galaxy Television, and the program is Democracy and the Rule of Law. So our next topic for discussion, the Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu issued a 7-day ultimatum to herdsmen to vacate the forest reserves in the state. The order is part of the major steps taken by the state to address the root cause of kidnapping and other nefarious activities in the state. The presidency then came out to tackle the governor on his order. Garba Shehu, the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, in a statement signed on Tuesday, encouraged the state government to tackle all forms of criminality but not breach the right of herders in the state. And a Yoruba right activist, Sunday Igboho, issued a 7-day ultimatum to Fulani herdsmen and their relatives to exit Oyo town, another part of the Kogun area of the state, following the incessant clashes between the farmers who are natives and the herdsmen who migrated to the area. The state governor, Seyi Makinde, kicked against it, but Sunday Igboho on Friday stormed Igangan town in the Ibarapa zone of the state against the directive of the state governor, Seyi Makinde, and security agencies. And the rest, as I say, is history. So let's start with the Ondo State Governor, Rotimi Akeredolu. First of all, was it wrong to issue a 7-day ultimatum, or to issue this ultimatum at all to the herdsmen?
Well, I think I align myself with the position of the federal government of Nigeria against the governor of that state. And my concern about Governor Akeredolu is a lawyer himself. He knows the constitution in and out. He knows that these herdsmen, they have a right, as well as the Ondo State indigenous have a right. But you see, when there's a situation like this, what you need to do is to create a middle ground. A middle ground which will protect the right of Ondo State indigenous, and a middle ground that will protect the right of innocent herdsmen who are just going about with their economic well-being. And then for those criminals, you need to create a middle ground whereby they will be brought to justice in a very punctilious way, and they will be dealt with in a very severe manner. This herdsmen palaver didn't just start yesterday. Some states have even come up with their own various legislation to deal with it. You can remember, you can still recall when Governor Fayose was there, that this Benue State did the same thing, that you can only grace between one time to one particular period of time, and what have you, the grazing law in various states. But just to wake up my ass in Nigeria, these people, some of them are Nigerians anyway, and they are Fulani, they are the nomads, because they move their cattle from here and here. So we need to look at what does the Constitution give, guarantee the right to free movement. And they have the right to live in any part of Nigeria. However, you as the chief security officer of the state, one, what you can do, set up a team comprising the military, the police, the Nigerian Air Force, if possible, so that they can flush out all these criminals from the forest. But what you cannot do is to tell them that you need to go back to your state within 7 days, what have you. And also, my major concern, which I'm even concerned about, is it the case that all of them, you see, you can't paint everybody with the same brush and say, look, all of you must leave the forest. There might be some of them who are in that forest engaging in economic activities and using that to protect their family. And some of them have lived there for years. But for those criminal elements, what we can do is to engage what is called a serious engagement, whereby you tell their leaders, if you fail to tell us the perpetrators of all these evil acts going on, kidnapping and what have you, what we're going to do is that we either tell you to leave or we get the military involved. You see, that's appeasement and engagement could make a difference sometimes. I was watching a documentary this afternoon, and it was quite interesting that these people, they are going to, they will capture some of the bears and they will use them as a dancing bear to raise money. And then the government of that country decided that, look, the best way we can do this, we will give you some subsistence amount, you can set up economic activities. And they realized the people started selling potato, fruits, and what have you, and they are even making more money than using beer as a dancing beer to get money. And that stopped. So you see, engagement is equally important. And the governor of a state, you see, people have to be very careful when they are engaging in all this popularity contests in order to show the people they are doing something. If you are not careful, you will create more problems. Take for instance, you as the governor of Ondo State, you are asking Fulani herdsmen, all of them must leave the forest or leave your state within 7 days. Now, if somebody in the northern states, many of the states predominantly dominated by the Fulani, turn around and say, look, all the Ondo State indigenous too, you should leave our state. You see, by so doing, you are creating chaos. And nobody has the right to do that. And that's what the federal government seems to be saying, that what you can do is that make sure you put a stop to any form of criminality, in which case there should be a robust system. A robust system whereby if there is a grazing law, you implement it. If there is a law in that country that will punish all these perpetrators, you deal with them. Look, in this country, some years ago, I remember when we were younger, that if they kill an armed robber, your parents will buy the picture, bring it home, and call you in a room and tell you, look, this is Oyenusi, this is Anini, you need to be very careful, don't steal. When you go to school, if you see something that is not yours, you must return it. You see, by so doing, it can get, it can change your way of life, it can lead to a change of life. And my concern is that the governor, what step has he taken before issuing this order to make sure he's the chief security officer? They have security
now that's the thing, because I mean, this is not, as I said before, this is not the first time we're having this issue. And he has been coming out to cry out, just like a lot of other governors, especially Benue State, where they've had this clash, for a very long time. And I want to believe he has taken some of the steps you're saying. Probably did not mention them on Twitter, So it is this one that everybody is talking about. But how do you think he has not done all this before? This is like the last straw. He couldn't, hold it anymore. Like, okay, I'm done. I'm fed up. Herdsmen, and you know how these people are. I mean, they know the criminal element about them, but they would not like to betray their tribesmen, so they will not call them out.
Look, Solomon, I do understand the governor's frustration, and I identify with it. But my problem is that you have to be very careful in creating another problem while you are trying to solve one problem. And if that is my major concern, you see, you can't just wake up and ask people to leave. It doesn't work that way. Even your own community too, where you live with your nuclear family, nobody can just come and ask you, look, you have to leave today. It doesn't work. They will give you notice, appropriate notice. Now, can you imagine, and then within 7 days, you are asking all of them to leave the forest. Where do you want them to go? That is the point. Do you want them to live on the street? And some of them even have children in school. How is that going to happen? You see, the state has responsibility to protect family life. And you cannot use criminality as an excuse in which and thereby cause separation of family because you just want, you don't want Fulanis in your state. That is where I have concern, and I share the position of the federal government of Nigeria that, look, what you need to do is that you must tackle your form of criminality in your state, but you have no right to ask some people to leave the state because they are Nigerian citizens. And don't forget, the federal government has a responsibility to all these people. That is one important point. If it's me, if I'm the governor of that state, one, I will engage. If that engagement fails, I will set up a team that will tackle all form of criminality going on. And then a robust judicial system whereby if you are apprehended, there is a kidnapping law in those states. If you are caught, you will be dealt with as soon as practically possible. And also, you know, some of these nomads we are talking about, some of them may not be well educated and what have you, as the governor even printed a leaflet in their language where you send it to them that, look, this is what is going to happen if you are caught, or this is the information now, if you know there's anybody engaging in this. You see, we need to prioritize crime whereby the public can give information with confidence. And the way you can do that is to make sure that once they give that information, you give them some sort of protection. And most people in this community, they know the elements who are engaging in this kidnapping and what have you that is going on. But did you create that channel where they can pass information? And also, you used one word before, earlier on, which is mistrust. Whereby citizens can have confidence that if they give that information, their identity will be protected. These are the issues they need to look at, not a quit notice.
I mean, and the whole thing spiraled out. You know,
yes, right.
Some people have come out to criticize how the federal government who is handling it, that they should have been much more subtle, other than
being brutal.
Brutal and standing on the governor who has a constitutional right to the security of his men. Probably the way he came out to do it was wrong, but the presidency's response to is wrong.
It's equally, you see, it's both of them. Number one, I think the governor of Ondo State is somebody in the good book of the federal government for some reason, and they can easily reach out to him that, look, do not do this. And also, we have to be very careful, because he sent a tweet saying, look, within this and that, you people should leave if you don't do that. And then you see, you have to be, you see, this is where I have a serious concern. If they fail to do that, don't forget, I said something earlier on, that the federal government even have a responsibility to this Fulani. If they don't issue a statement, people will say, look, they agree with what the governor is doing. And if they fail to condemn the act of this governor or his pronouncement, it is possible that governor will follow suit, and that can create all sorts of problem. But the caution here is this: nobody is happy with what is going on, and none is supports of Fulani herdsmen trapping on people, right, kidnapping, criminality that is going on. But what I'm saying is that let us look for alternative solution to deal with these issues rather than a quit notice.
And it spilled to Oyo State, where, you know, these people said, okay, if the governor is not going to help us, let's take the law into our own hand, because of course the governor Seyi Makinde came out to, you know, kick against the Yoruba right activist Sunday Igboho, popularly called that, you know, okay, don't do this, you know, trying to toe the line of the Ondo State governor, and let's just say it fell into deaf ears.
You see, that's sharp. Yes, I think there was another, he should be arrested. Well, definitely, I think he should be arrested. You see, number one, no, I'll tell you my position. You see, you don't do that. We are parliament. There's your state House of Assembly. If you have issues, you can join all the people in that area, go before parliament that these are the problem we are having with this Fulani herdsmen. Then they can come up with a very appropriate legislative framework. And there was a statement from the Arewa Consultative Forum. And if you read that statement, they said, look, all the problem we had in 1966 or so, this is how it started, whereby somebody just came out of the blue and said that, oh, the Igbos are killing all the Hausas. Before they realized it, there was a reprisal attack on the Igbos in the northern state of Nigeria. Do you want a Nigeria of such nation? And if this matter is not well handled, people are waking up and asking people, you must leave, you must do this. These are people who have been living happily with the Yoruba community, in that community for years. You can't say because you are an activist, and look at what happened. Destruction, The Seriki of those Fulani people has, I think is somewhere hiding somewhere with his family members. Now, how did he get to that state? And they should have called this person, Sunday person to an order. And my concern is that where were the security forces when he was making his way to that community? At least you can stop him midway, that you don't go there. Because the youths there are waiting and you know what is going to happen. Look, if you wake up and say, look, we don't want any Hausas in Lagos, or you attack any of them, you know we've had issues here in Lagos too. It's not supposed to be. We must not have a country where anybody can just wake up and ask some ethnic group that they should leave any part of Nigeria. That is not the way to go.